43 is paramateria?
My lord, yes, and if your lordship sees paragraph 65, they say, if your lordship will see sideline C, paragraph 65, therefore that the fact that this reference may require us to say something different, therefore the fact that this reference may require us to page 100 of your lordship's and your ladyship's paper book, therefore the fact that this reference may require us to say something different to what has been enunciated in 2G case as a proposition of law cannot strike at the root of the maintainability of the reference. Consequently, we reject the preliminary objection.
पूरा पढ़ लेना वही. Consequently, we reject the preliminary objection and hold that this reference is maintainable, notwithstanding its effect on the ratio of 2G case, as long as the decision in that case, qua the list inter partes, is left unaffected.
Yes. That's why I read it right in the beginning that they caveated it. They said we can express a different view on law. We can do so in an advisory opinion. Intra partes, the outcome of that list will remain unaffected. My lord, in this case, intra partes, the outcome of the list cannot be affected no matter what your lordship say in this case. The man has been, the accused in that case.
So how is it different from, you see, I mean, if there's a principle settled in a case, then comes another case later on, and we upset the principle or we overrule the principle, that's the normal judicial process. How would this be different from that one?
My lord, what is happening over here in 2G cases is that this is an issue which the Federation at that time thought may affect the spectrum licenses in future cases as well.
So there was a principle that they wanted.
They wanted the principle to be changed.
In a fresh case, the larger bench could
have, but they went, instead of waiting for that to happen, they went through a reference and the court said we could do that, and the same thing happened in the 1951 earlier case which I just
Are they in effect saying per incurium?
They are, my lord, saying that, but they are careful to point out that the list between the parties in that case is unaffected.
So per incurium.
But for all other purposes.
So what would be the legal effect of the 2G judgment? Would that be considered as an overruled judgment now?
That judgment would be considered as not expressing the correct position of law for the citizenry at large, except where the cases it had become a past and closed transaction.
Per incurium
for all purposes.
Am I not
It's been declared as a per incurium through a reference.
That will be judgment in personam, because it is inter partes,
or in personam.
Remain in personam only.
That was
that particular judgment.
With regard to any contract between.
Yes, my lord.
2G.
Yes, your lordship is absolutely right. With regard to that particular contract of 2G, that judgment is confined to as a judgment in personam, becoming a past and closed transaction for the parties in that case, but the law of the land is different.
Correct.
My lord, so this was, I had already referred to your lordship to the Yusuf Patel case. I need not go there. My lord, why your lordship was saying point out what are the other examples, but may I just point out that if we put the forms aside and we look at the substance, your lordships have in a number of cases reopened. In your lordships have in a number of cases reopened your concluded judgments.
No, we just did the other day in 62(1)(f), but that's overruling it specifically.
That's overruling. But may I point out, my lord, even more specifically, your lordship in the pensionary benefits case, the matter relating to your lordship's pensions had been decided. A review petition against that had been dismissed. The registrar.
Can you give us the citation?
My lord, the citation of the judgment referred to is PLD 2013, Supreme Court 829.
This is the original one.
No, this is the judgment, the final judgment in the pensionary case that I have put in. It is tab 3 of volume 3. And it's a long judgment without reading. May I just submit before your lordship what was involved. The pensionary benefits had been decided. A review is filed, a review is dismissed. The registrar of this honorable court says this has come to my notice and writes a letter to the Chief Justice. The Chief Justice constitutes a larger bench, and the larger bench affects the outcome of that already decided case where the review has been dismissed by changing that and by declaring that judgment to be per incuriam.
So that's a suo motu jurisdiction there.
That's suo motu under 184.
So then there is a jurisdiction.
No, so what I'm pointing out, my lord, is that your lordships have, in exercise of your suo motu jurisdiction,
That good law.
opened this window. My lord, it has happened in more than one case.
No, is that good law?
My lord, my submission is that under 187, your lordships have the power to do complete justice, but your lordships need a jurisdiction to do that.
Right.
187
You
is
can't-
not the jurisdiction
yes.
provision. Now, over here, your lordship is getting the jurisdiction under 186. The window has been opened by your lordships in earlier cases under 184(3). I know, my lord, your lordship was in dissent, my lord, Mr. Justice Mansoor Ali Shah, but where the sacked employees cases came up before this honorable court, there was a review petition and a 184(3) petition. This honorable court, by majority,
Citation?
my lord, I'll just give you lordship the citation,
Well, that's where, I mean, very clearly it
says
says
2022 SCMR 1691 with my lord Mr. Justice Mansoor Ali
if
Shah.
we see in that dissent, there is a reference to a judgment saying that this cannot be done.
My lord, yes.
So 184(3) cannot look at matters.
True, my
if
lord.
Review has been decided.
What I am pointing out to your lordship is that your lordship's dissent apart, there was a review petition. There was no 184(3) before this honorable court. The court dismissed the review petition. The court then opened the window under 184(3). Your lordship said it can't be done. Your lordship provided the same relief under review jurisdiction. Your lordship accepted the review petition, allowed it, granted the relief. So in terms of relief, it was the result was the same.
The mechanism.
Your lordship said the proper way of doing it is, we have a review before us.
Right.
Let's decide the review. Let's say we made an error. The majority of the bench said, no, we dismiss the review, but we give them relief under 184(3). All that I'm pointing out to your lordships is that your lordships have, in order to do complete justice under
If
187,
we applied that test to the instant case, the review could have been dismissed by this court by saying that there's no error floating on the record or this point was not raised. But then the same relief could have been given under 184 or 187
Yes, that's
if
correct.
we applied that test.
But in the dissent, there's a reference to a larger judgment which was not considered by the majority.